Heidi-ho, neighbors. We're coming to you from the echo chamber from below. It's like fooling around with stuff like that. How's everybody doing? I'm Bill Whittle. This is the Stratosphere Lounge, episode 42? 41? 42? Something up there. You'll notice I got all dressed up for the occasion. We've got a premiere coming for the new website. Actually, I was just in the green screen in the next room using our fabulous Red camera, which they shoot feature films on. And I was in there shooting the opening video for people coming to the new website. So we got some fun stuff to talk about with that today. And got a bunch of really interesting questions, too, from the Facebook page. We always get great questions from the Facebook page. It's great to be here. I don't think I've left this chair in, weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. But it's great to be in the chair. And before we get wound up, I'll just say one of the fun things about doing the show, the live show, I know a lot of you see it on YouTube, but watching it live is fun because we have a kind of ongoing comment stream on the live show over at Ustream. And people were talking about the movie Airplane before we started rolling tape. It's kind of like backstage in the green room. You always have some kind of interesting conversation in the green room before you really get going. So I saw a lot of people talking about Airplane. And I just wanted to tell you guys who are big Airplane fans, one of the many, 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 many amazing things about my show, my life rather, the same thing, is that I just can't believe some of the people I get to meet. And I've gotten to be pretty good friends with Dave Zucker, who's the director, writer of Airplane, and pretty good friends with Bob Hayes, who's the star of Airplane. You know, Bob he's got a drinking problem. I don't want to ruin the new suit. Tell you what his drinking problem is. But yeah, I saw people talking about it, and it's one of those great moments where it's like, you know what, I know those guys. It's just, I don't know, I can't even tell you what life is like for me, thanks to you fine people and all of the support over the years. And so we got a lot of fun things to talk about today. We've got a new website opening on Saturday. I've got my little phone sitting here. Our magnificent web developer is putting the final touches on the beta aspect of the site. I can't say that strongly enough. But, you know, the Stratosphere Lounge has been such a special thing for me from the beginning. It's true. Everybody who I get to meet, all the people who really feel, I feel like the Stratosphere Lounge crowd, the Stratolounge crowd is just my closest, I really feel like friends. So we're going to get a little text somewhere in the next hour or so, and then when that happens, we'll send you over. Now, beta site means that virtually everything is working mechanically. We've got a couple of channel pages we have to put up, and there's some content, things that haven't gotten up yet. We haven't got the new virtual presidency thing up yet. We got to do a lot of things still left to do, but the overall look of the site will get you there. So here's what I wanted to do with the show today. We've got some great questions from the Facebook page, as we always do. I'll get to those in a minute. And I've got some descriptions and banners from the website, some of which won't be up today, but will be up on Saturday. So I will go over those real quick. But before I do either of those things, I want to talk very briefly about Declaration Entertainment. And if any of you happen to be Declaration Entertainment citizen producers, everybody who was or is a member of Declaration Entertainment is going to get an email from us tomorrow morning. But basically what's happening is Declaration Entertainment is becoming BillWhittle.com. If you're a member of Declaration Entertainment, your card will stop being charged on Friday. Anything after that doesn't get charged, and we'll be contacting you about making sure that you get, especially if you have a yearly subscription to Declaration Entertainment. If you do, we'll be happy to show you how to sign up for one at BillWhittle.com and throw in a month free. And if not, we will write you a check and get you your balance back. But Declaration Entertainment isn't so much dying as it's evolving in the short form, and we explain this a lot to our members, and frankly, this is just for the Declaration Entertainment citizen producers, but I know some of you are out there, and I wanted to just say this very quickly. We basically tried to do a feature film company and produce political videos on the back of that. And it turned out that over the course of 3 years, a feature film is so massive and so enormous and consumes so many resources and time and effort that what we decided to do with this transition to BillWhittle.com is, instead of doing a feature film company that does political videos, we're going to turn it into a political production company that does feature films. So that's what we're going to be doing, basically. And we've got a lot of channels and a lot of stuff going on over at BillWhittle.com. But the one thing I did want to say to our citizen producers out there, we did 32 Firewalls because of you, and we finished a movie because of you. I know we've been talking about the release. It's all Jeremy's baby. It's in his hands, but he's negotiating a private distribution deal, which I think is inked. I know we've been talking about that for a while too. But the point I'd like to make for those of you who either are currently or have at one time been, this is really important, have at any time been citizen producer at Declaration Entertainment, you are going to get your DVD of the Arroyo, even if you remember for a month. If you signed up for Declaration Entertainment, you are getting your feature film that we promised you we would make. We said we wanted to go out and make feature films. We did. We made one. The cost is astonishing, really, to do that. So it looks like a Hollywood movie. Jeremy did an incredible job, and as I said, we're going to be sending out an email just to Declaration Entertainment members to thank you for staying with us as long as you did, and to hope that we can convince you to subscribe to BillWhittle.com and hopefully do a lot more things, which I'll get to in a minute. But to those of you out there who've been paying members, whether you have the whole time or part of the time or were and then stopped, speaking for Jeremy Boring and me and everybody else who works in this building, we can't begin to thank you enough, and it was the foundation for everything that we're doing and have done. So that's basically the short form for you fine people out there, and as I say, we'll be speaking to you directly by email with more details about all of that stuff. So before we get into the questions, let me just show you a couple of things about the site. We very, very, very pleased with the look of the site. I actually think somebody just asked me in the comment section, "Am I over Macho Grande? Is the Stratosphere Lounge currently cruising over Macho Grande?" It was Weird Dave wants to know if I'm over Macho Grande. Dave, I'll never get over Macho Grande. Anyway, back to the upcoming website. I'll just show you a couple of banner pages and give you a quick idea of what we're doing on opening day. By the way, one of the things we had to do was we had to walk back a lot of stuff that I wanted to have on opening day just because we'd never opened. There's so many things that we want to get done and so many things we want to do. So we're gonna just get the doors open, and then we're gonna keep adding things. Really, every 2 weeks we're gonna add a new channel for a while, new shows, not just new episodes, not just updates of shows, but new channels, new content, not just new content, new kinds of content. And be doing that pretty aggressively for the next couple, 3-4 months. So let me show you what we got. First of all, here's the BillWhittle.com banner, which I love. I think looks really, really great. You got Cartoon Bill there, and that's basically the home page. So when you get there, you'll see the home page. And then I have to tell you, our web guy is the best guy we've ever had. And he's feeling a little nervous about people coming into a site that's not finished yet. Like all professionals, he wants it perfect before he releases it. But I want to send you guys over there early with a clear understanding that we're still in beta mode, meaning that we're still have under construction signs, and we've still got, parts of some of the channels aren't up yet, but you'll get a pretty good idea. And the subscription stuff should all be working. So we'll get a pretty good idea of where we are. And there's some fun stuff over there that I think you guys will like. So that's the main page. And then on the right-hand margin, you'll see all kinds of channels. That's what we're calling these things, calling them channels. So let's talk about our first channel. And the first channel, of course, is this one right here. It's not up yet, but by Saturday, when we launch officially on Saturday, we will have the first installment of the Your Government series. We teased it a little bit, the first 10, 15 seconds of it. The videos that we shot them all in one day. We had the actual desk from the West Wing. We had the prop Resolute desk from the West Wing. We shot on that. And I know many of you have seen some of the composites that we've done. And I have to tell you guys, it is astonishing how good that looks. It looks better than the videos that the White House produces. So we did 11 of them. Hang on a second. I think I've got one here. Yeah, look at that, huh? I mean, that's just really, 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 really good work on the part of our compositing guy. So we've got 11 segments, some of them at night, some of them in the daytime. The first one is at night, and the second one's in the day, and they flip back and forth. And it is an 11-part series called Your Government. Now, you've heard me do a lot of criticizing of the progressives and of Obama and Democrats in general, and criticism is important, and showing where they're wrong is important, but ultimately it's all a waste of time unless you can give people an alternative. So what the Your Government series is it is an 11-part instruction manual on how to get the country back, on how to get it back. It's actually stunningly, remarkably, amazingly simple to do that if you break it down into little pieces. So we talk about legislation, immigration, education, defense. We talk about, spacing on half of them, foreign policy, healthcare, all of it. And we have good common sense solutions to all of it. So it's an instruction manual on how to get the country back. I'm going to come back to this point very strongly at the very, very end of the show, but just so everybody knows, even though this is a subscription site, nothing is going to be, there may be one or two little pieces of behind-the-scenes content like the making of the White House thing, but the real stuff, all of the real stuff, is going to be out there for free. Embeddable on YouTube, linkable on Facebook. We're not putting anything of any real substance behind a firewall, if you'll pardon the expression. We want to change the culture. So we're gonna have all these things out there for free. But the good news is, since we've shot 11 segments, if we release one of these virtual presidency, Your Government segments every other week opposite Afterburner, then that's almost 6 months of content. That gets us to March, practically. But if you decide to become a subscriber, you'll get your DVD as soon as it's mastered, probably within the next 3 weeks. And then you'll have all 11. You can play them at home. Otherwise, you have to wait for them. They'll come out once every 2 weeks for 11 weeks. But that will be free. We're not depriving anybody of anything. We don't want to make this subscription thing a warehouse that you have to pay to get into. It's purely voluntary, and I'll come back to that at the end. So first thing we got there is the virtual presidency thing. And of all the things the subscriptions will do, having a subscriber base will get us this message out. It'll get these DVDs out. We can start giving DVDs away to schools, all that stuff. So that's the first channel that you'll see when you go over there. The second channel may look familiar to some of you. The second channel is that one. We're bringing Firewall back, and we're bringing Firewall back with a vengeance. So we're going to up the production standards in the same way that this Your Government virtual presidency thing is an order of magnitude better than anything we've ever done, just technically. I think it's better written by an order of magnitude as well. But it looks like real television. And so we're going to up Firewall. We're going to be shooting on our brand new Red camera that we've had for a little bit. We're going to up the graphics and the presentation, and we'll have the means to promote it, buy some Facebook time. So that'll be great. So we've got the Firewall channel. That'll be one of the other things that'll be at the website. Third channel is also fairly familiar to you. It's Afterburner. Now, needless to say, Afterburner's at PJTV. I'm going to stay at PJTV. I'll come back to that in a minute. It's one of our questions. But you'll have all of the Afterburners in one place. All the Firewalls are already in one place. And starting, I guess, with the one I shot today, we're going to start posting the scripts, the shooting scripts, to Afterburner. I know a lot of people would like to have those. So we'll make those available. And eventually, downstream, we'll put together a book of the best of Afterburner and the best of Firewall, actual scripts, so that you can read them. So we have an Afterburner channel for you. Now, the fourth channel is one that I know is near and dear to everybody's hearts, and that's this baby right here. One of you, I don't know if you're watching tonight, one of you made a comment last week. The original graphic had me up even with the Stratosphere Lounge thing, and it said it looked like I was floating in the air. Had a certain symmetry to it, but I thought on balance you were right, whoever you were. So I just did a slight change to the Stratosphere Lounge thing, and we will be doing the Stratosphere Lounge, which is going to stay more or less the same for a while. But one of the things we're going to be able to do with some income, with a subscriber base, is we will have a chance to do things like live web call-ins. We may find ourselves doing a Google Plus kind of thing, or where people can either text me live, or they can email me live, or they can get questions in live, and we can have maybe call-ins, but maybe again do webcam lives. And listen, folks, if we had, it's going to be a crawl to get there, but if we had 5,000 members, we would be able to produce this as a TV show once a month. I mean, really, we could get it in a studio and make it look grand. So we got to start. We got to start somewhere. But right now, Stratosphere Lounge will keep on coming. We'll have better graphics immediately. We already have better graphics. And then the hope will be, as the subscriber base grows, we'll be able to do it in a studio, in an actual studio. So we've got a Stratosphere Lounge page. Got a couple of other interesting pages. We got a nice little page on speaking engagements. That's where all of my online speeches will be, because I've done a bunch of those live now, and those have been archived, which will be nice. And the speaking page will also give you, finally, after only 2 years of doing it, will also include where I'm going to be next. So if you're in the neighborhood, we'd love to have you swing by, and also contact information if you want me to come out and do an event for you or your group or something. It's we'll see if we can find a way to do it. So so we have a speaking page, and that includes the speeches and so on. And then the one thing I think that's actually really, really important is this. I'm going to be doing written commentary, and I'm going to try and do it every day. I think I'll be able to do it certainly every weekday. So we'll go back to the eject days where I'm writing a couple paragraphs. I'm hoping that what I'll do is get up in the morning, do my normal rounds of Instapundit and Drudge Report, and instead of just getting angry at something, I'll write 2 or 3 paragraphs about it. I've been so busy for so long getting this thing ready that the idea of doing long-form essays for the time being is a little tough, but we will be doing daily 2-3 paragraph updates on whatever is going on in the world out there. So I think that'll be good. It'll be good to get back into the written word, and good to have daily updates and daily opinions on what's actually going on without having to go to all the trouble of producing these videos. So that's something I'm actually kind of excited about and looking forward to. So that'll be there, and hopefully that'll do it. Moving on, we're going to have a store. Again, one of the things that we had to try and control, that I personally had to try and control myself on. I wanted everything there on opening day, and we never would have gotten there. We would have just kept pushing it back and never ever have gotten there. So as part of the membership bonuses, if you decide to become a subscriber, you get the not the What We Believe DVD. Although that'll be available. You get the Your Government DVD, and we're going to have bumper stickers, and we're going to have some cool T-shirts, and we're going to have some fleeces and all kinds of other things just to get the door open. But once the door gets open, we're going to do a virtual presidency line of clothes and so on. And then we're going to also do a Stratosphere Lounge line of clothing, shirts, T-shirts, bumper stickers, mugs, all that stuff. We're going to bring those out one at a time, otherwise we'll never get the doors open. But we are going to have a fair amount of stuff on opening day, and we're going to be adding to it all the time. So that'll be nice. It'll be nice to wear some stuff and have a virtual presidency mug. And just to give you an example of what I'm talking about, we won't have any virtual presidency merchandise on opening day, but that will come out probably within 2 or 3 weeks. And down the stream, you may get a virtual president mug that looks like the graphics that we have for the virtual presidency. You can get a mug that looks like this. And then as continue and things are going and we're on an upward spiral and we're making money and we can diversify, then maybe what we'll do is put out a gold edition virtual presidency mug that looks like the mug that the actual president has. Maybe something nice with the gold bands around it and just a logo that says Virtual President of the United States. That'd be cool. That'd be the mug that the actual virtual president drinks, and I know everybody wants one of those. So, the Stratosphere Lounge clothing, needless to say, will have these kind of colors, this kind of logo. The stuff that we go for originally is going to have this design on it, and that tagline, and I've seen the mock-ups, and it's really, really, really good. Really, really good. So, yeah, real excited about the store, and so that's going to be there on opening day, although not when we do the beta thing later on today. What else have we got? Well, we've got an About page. That's a terrifying montage. It's like watching somebody it's like watching the guy at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark, or not Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's the guy at the end of Last Crusade. You know, he drinks the wrong chalice and anyway, that's going to be a little bit about me. There's a decent long bio there, and there's a little video that we did at a fundraiser that tells a little bit about me, and I'll get into a little more details eventually. Once I get a chance to breathe, I'll probably do a fairly in-depth, 4 or 5 page story of my life, how I got here, and include a bunch of pictures from along the way. So until then, there's a little video there about me, and a bio for those of you who might be curious about that. And then we also will have on opening day on Saturday. Yeah, look at that guy in the middle, huh? Ooh, what a hippie. God almighty. It takes guts to put pictures like that up, guys. Guts. And we'll also have a page for this thing, for Aurora. This is not a final render. It's not final textures, but it's getting there. So Aurora will be up on day 1. And then starting in about 2 weeks, as I said, we're going to launch a new channel, which will be for the little sci-fi horror film called Big Bat Problems, which we're really, really excited about. And again, subscriptions will allow us to move the ball with these things. What you need to go out and get private film money, this is what we're doing differently than Declaration Entertainment. Declaration Entertainment took a lot of membership money for a long period of time to make one movie, and we are going to use our subscriber base in order to keep the political stuff coming daily. Something new happening all the time. New firewalls, new afterburners, new virtual president stuff, new commentary, all that stuff. Just keep it going. A lot of stuff in motion, a lot of stuff being upgraded. But in addition to that, if we have enough of a base, we can do some of what we've done here and divert some resources to developing the movies. And the concept art we've got from Big Bat Problems are just terrific, and not only terrific, they're just inspiring. So, but we'll have a little Aurora page on opening day on Saturday, so that'll be there. And then downstream, as time, in the fullness of time, probably in middle of November, we'll get another channel up, which will be my friend Lida Loudon. We've shot 2 of her videos, and they're terrific. They take a lot of post-production, and so we'll start probably about a month after we open the doors on Saturday, 3 weeks, somewhere in there. We'll start to crack out the Lida channel and start getting stuff out there for young people, which will also go together for a DVD downstream. So that's pretty much it, I think. Needless to say, we put a lot of work into this, and we're very excited about it, and hope you will be too. Hope you will be too. So let's get to the questions, and then we're still waiting for our magic beep from our magnificent web guy, who has told me 15 times, please be sure to tell people beta, 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 not finished, not finished. He's a perfectionist, and that's the kind of people I like to work with. So here are your questions from the Facebook page, and let's get this baby rolling. That was a tidy 30 minutes. Good. Chris Inchcombe wants to know, is Bill Whittle leaving PJTV? I noticed that his content will be available through his site as well. Hope he's not leaving my recently re-upped account. He is not leaving PJTV. That question wasn't first on the list, but I put it first because I want to be crystal clear about that. I enjoy enormously working at PJTV. As soon as we get a chance to breathe, we'll probably put up a trifecta page so that we can put our trifectas that show up on YouTube up on that page. PJTV has been, almost said been good to me. That'd be the understatement of the century. They took a chance on me when I was a complete unknown. I've been paying my rent and my car payments for 5 years now. And the work I do over there at Afterburner is work I'm just shockingly proud of. So I will continue to be at PJTV and continuing to do Trifecta and Clavin Whittle Show over there and Hot Seat. All that's going to continue. And it's an honor and a pleasure to be there. So the main reason we have an Afterburner page on our website is so that we can continue to link to Afterburners and encourage people to subscribe to PJTV as well. No, Chris, I have no plans to leave, and I'm as happy as I can be over there. It's a great opportunity. They're great people, and Trifecta and all that other stuff. So this is definitely in cooperation with them, and we've been running a subscription-based site, Declaration Entertainment, for 3 years now. So we've been having that kind of shared cooperation with them for a while, and Firewalls were going out at the same time as Afterburners, so everything is pretty cool. Good news about that, Chris, and thanks for asking. I'm definitely staying there, and I hope to be there for as long as they have the doors open. They've been very kind to me, and I enjoy working over there very much. Joe A. Kunzler says, I would like to see some tutorials on how to recreate your magic at a local level, please. Well, I would love to do them, Joe. Throughout the course of this episode tonight, you're just going to keep hearing me use the word resources. The one thing I have never had in my life ever, until very, very recently with some help for the Virtual Presidency Project, is resources. I've never been able to deploy resources at something. I have to, everything I've had to do has either been in somebody else's control or out of my own pocket, which has not been very deep pockets for most of my life. And still, they're getting deeper, but I don't have the means to do this. I don't have anything like the means to do this. But with a subscription base, we can. So one of the things we can do is I can do these videos for younger people. I can do the virtual president videos that make the case. And as far as recreating the magic at a local level, I do a fair amount of touring and speaking. And as we get into 2014, as this virtual presidency thing starts to gain some traction, I hope, we will be able to go around the country, and my hope is, as we find conservative candidates running for office or for re-election, we can take this virtual presidency dog and pony show out on the road, and I can just do my little tap dance, and we can, help people get elected. So there we go. So that's the goal, and I think as far as teaching people how to recreate the magic, I don't really have a lot of magic, Joe. All I've ever had is the ability to express principles that I believe in. And if we can just get people to understand and believe in the principles, they don't have to be able to have the ability to flap their jaws the way that I can. All we have to do is make sure people get the story in a way that's understandable. And with things like this, Your Government DVD, which is about solutions, no name calling really, then you put solutions in front of people and they'll bite. And then as we get into, as I said, the 2014 election cycle, and then presumably 2016 election cycle, we can go out and do this as a show and bring a little eloquence or whatever to whatever events need to be done. Hopefully bring a little media spotlight, and hopefully bring a little fundraising for them. Help them come out and see. So that's what we're going to do there, I hope, Joe. Thanks for the question. Gage Mosher says, how do we get our message to penetrate Jon Stewart's sphere? His audience of 3 million is vital if we want to affect the younger generation's thinking. And somebody named Allo Conson chipped right in there and said, Light Aloud, and we'll be tackling that on BillWhittle.com regularly. Couldn't have put it better myself, Allo. Thanks very much. Here's my friend Lida again. And do we still have any pictures of us goofing off? They're on the Facebook page. Lida is a remarkable, remarkable young lady. I've known her since she was 15. I saw her at CPAC out there just, laying down the conservative message. We shot 2 videos of hers. They're in the can. A lot of posts on them that we're going to need to do. One of them's about open-mindedness. We shot it at Griffith Park Observatory, and we also shot it in studio. And in that video, she talks about having an open mind. It talks about a guy named Ken Wales, who Walt Disney hired when he was 18 because Disney was opening Disneyland, and he needed to know what kids think. And so Lida's point is, if Walt Disney can listen to people and get their opinions, then we should be able to do that too. And then we shot one at Venice Beach about curiosity. See, Lyda understands in a way that I don't understand just how far gone her generation is in terms of being able to think critically. First video is to get them to open their mind. The second video is to get them to ask questions. Then you can start talking about things like guns and economics and all that other stuff. I never would have had a clue, but I think this young lady is remarkable and very bright, very talented, very pretty, obviously good person, and as you can tell from the pictures that are on our Facebook page, a really, really good friend of mine and somebody I have a lot of fun with and had a lot of fun with. And we'll be rolling her videos out probably in about 3 to 4 weeks. And the nice thing about holding stuff back is we get to come out with another big update. It's not just new content. It's a new kind of content, new channel. So hopefully that'll help Gage. And, as this thing continues to grow, we don't have to stop there. I want to do web series. I want to do I've had a name that you've heard me use this name before, the Common Sense Resistance, and for years now I wanted to go out and shoot like a commando feature film kind of a webisode thing where you've got a bunch of people in the wreckage of this ruin of a fallen society called the Common Sense Resistance, and they're taking the little microchips out of their arms and they're going off the grid. They don't get any benefits anymore. They don't get their food anymore. It's kind of them. They're the Rebel Alliance. They're the human resistance to the Terminators. They're living in the wreckage and trying to understand what this guy Adam Smith was saying and what this guy Milton Friedman was saying and who was this Madison fellow and who was John Adams, and you shoot the thing like the underground base at in the Terminator movies. By the way, I just saw my side section again. There is going to be a link. Again, we got to get the doors open, but this can happen very quickly. There is going to be an eject button that will take you to eject the entire archive from the day we opened the doors to the day I moved it over to PJTV, which was election day of 2009. So all that eject stuff will be there, and you'll be able to get to all the essays. You got the Silent America essays are listed down the right-hand side. The book will be available for sale. I'm going to put together a couple other books for Best of Firewall scripts, Best of Afterburner scripts. Then we're going to do audiobooks, and we're going to do ebooks. So one thing at a time, but that store is going to be growing rapidly. And so we have plans to do all these things. Here's a bunch of them together. Joe Palladino says, tour. I need Whittle live and in person. Central Florida, please. Central Florida, I have friends and I have a university back there. But I take the trip to the Panhandle if required. Joe, no one should ever have to go to the Panhandle of Florida. You may have to drive past Tallahassee if you do that, and you can't ask a person to do that. So we'll see if we can get down there. Right after that is a question from Brian Buchanan, who says, I'd like to see Bill Whittle go on tour. How does Whittle in the Big Apple sound? Besieged is how he sounds. And then finally, Eric Sandelin says, will the news site have easy-to-find information, contact info, cost? Yes, for once, finally. It'll be right here. Easy-to-find information on where I am, what I'm doing, and how you can get me to come down and do something for you. And tour schedules and all that other stuff. So let me just say one thing about touring. I'd love to do a tour, but frankly, if we do a tour, I've had this thought in my head for about 2-3 years. We did a fundraiser for the virtual presidency stuff up in Reno, and it was me, Lyda, and Zoe. And I think if we were to tour, we would do it right. We'd have big rear projection screen. We'd get a bunch of media behind us, and I think a tour should be me, Alfonso Rachel, Lyda Loudon, Andrew Clavin. Jeremy Boring's got some great, brilliant things to say. One or two others, and then just kind of go around. I'd probably carry the evening, but we'd do the kind of conservative all-star tour. And sell real tickets to that. I think we'd make some money at it. That's not likely to happen anytime soon, but I think it will happen soon, within a year. I'd love to do it. Anyway. So that's it for the touring, and I think that's on the page somewhere out there in the world. Connor Feeman says, you should be running for office. That is what I'd like to see. That's a long question. Seriously, how can you not? You always talk about how politicians on the right don't know how to articulate our message and tell our side. You keep saying we need to find that candidate, and then we think we found him. He turns out to be a rhino like Rubio. Don't you see, Bill? You're meant to run. You possess all of the qualities needed to represent us, and like you said, if Obama can be president, anyone can. Let me say a couple things about that. I've maintained from the beginning I'm unelectable to public office, but then along came Barack Obama. The things that I've done that I think are disqualifying in terms of if they were released would certainly be disqualifying. If they were released, here's where I'm going with this. I think the American people, and I think there's plenty of evidence for this, I think the American people will forgive anything, and the American people have been deprived of honesty for so long that honesty is a scarce commodity these days. And so if I was running for office, and I would give this advice to anybody running for office, I would simply, at my announcement of my candidacy, I would stand in front of the press corps and I would say, all right, here's what I've done. And I would list all of it. I'd list all of it. And it ain't pretty. I led an interesting life, colorful life, interesting life, never been arrested, never had any misdemeanor or felony charges of any kind pressed against me ever. But there have been some things on there that would really, really, really be discouraging to some people. I've been saying this forever. But I do believe that if a candidate came out and announced that out the gate and said, here's what you need to know about me. I did this, 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 and this. I'm not proud of it, but it happened. And I've never been married, so I haven't cheated on my wife, for those of you asking. Haven't woken up in bed next to any men, but, not dead yet either, I guess. So it's none of that stuff, but just stuff, But I think if you come out and say it, just say it. I think people would respect that. Some of them would be turned off. But what I would say at the end of it is, so that's it, that's me. And if you find any of this disqualifying, I don't blame you. I understand completely. But I will tell you one thing. The day where I am going to be standing in front of a press conference denying something to my millions of supporters who put their money and life and time and effort into getting me elected, where I get up there and deny something only to reveal a month or a week or 2 weeks later that I actually did do it, that is not going to happen. Everything that the press could possibly have on me, I've just told you about. I'm not going to be beholden to them. I'm not going to be wandering around wondering when people are going to discover this stuff. I'm not going to be blackmailed by them. So I'm just going to tell you exactly what it is. Here it is. It's there, and if you're okay with that, fine. But you are not going to get any more bad news from me. This is all the bad news there is. This is it. And there you go. And people in the comment section are saying things like, Marion Barry got reelected. Yeah, that's right, really. It's two of these things I've talked about. One of them is just some tax delinquency. It's been paid. I'm paid in full. But there were a lot of years when I just didn't have the money to pay taxes. I was a contract worker making barely enough to eat, and I put money aside for taxes. Wasn't taken out of my check, and then it came time to either pay the rent and buy some groceries or pay taxes. And guess which one I did? So I got way behind, but it's paid in full. But there were years and years and years, decade probably, of just not even filing taxes. So that's one. And, I've been treated for depression and have taken antidepressants in the past. Not doing it anymore, but there it is. These things used to be disqualifying, not so disqualifying anymore. A couple of other things that you're not going to hear from me about right now, but if I ever decide to do that, I'll do it. So look, I didn't think I was electable to the presidency, and I'm still pretty sure I'm not. But I have had actually a change of thought in the last 6 months, because I just flat out denied this before. Flat out said not going to happen. I'm just checking this email I got from our web guy. Okay. So let me just say this. The defense, the opposition to Obama has been so unbelievably appalling, just literally unbelievably appalling, that I am actually thinking about I'm not thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. Some potential House of Representatives run someday, maybe. Only because if you are a member of the House of Representatives, you get to go up on the floor of the House of Representatives and you can be seen. You know, Ted Cruz is just a senator. He's a national character because he stands up for things. He has principles. So anyway, that's pretty much it. So I'm thinking it over. And I'm so sorry to be distracted here. I'm just trying to find out whether or not we can get this link to this thing. Yeah. I can put it in the comments section. I'm sorry. I want to get you guys over there. I want to make sure it's good. Okay, beg your pardon. So look, if things go to continue as awful, not Governor of California, just, and I probably couldn't even do it from California. I'd have to find some district, go live someplace where people are sane and normal and carpet bag it and all this other stuff. Look, I don't think this is going to happen, folks. I really don't. I think I can be a lot more effective as a guy who goes around the country, pretends to be the president, and then, you know, fires up the campaigns of scores of people. Hopefully I should be able to get scores and scores of people elected. Now, if this virtual presidency things that we just did, which are so much better, they're just orders of magnitude better than what we've done before, then I might think about it as a representative. I mean, what's her name? Shelia Jackson-Lee is a representative of the United States. I think I could probably clear that bar. So anyway, don't get your hopes up, folks. I got bigger things to do, frankly, than be president of the United States. Kenny Dragone says, more firewalls. I say, they're coming. Excuse me, what an animal. See, there's the end of my political career. Also, I need to take drinks of water occasionally while I'm speaking. That's probably the end of it, too. Excuse me. Have to hide that logo. More firewalls, yeah. The first thing we're going to do next, after we get the site open, we'll have the new Mr. Virtual President thing up. But after we get the site open, we will we'll forget what firewall. Sorry, we will do the next thing out. Will be a brand new firewall called gaslighting. I'd never heard that term before, and just very recently my friend told me about it. Gaslighting apparently is a term used based on a movie called Gaslight, where they tried to drive a woman crazy by having things happen, and then a group of people saying, that never happened. What are you talking about? Didn't you hear that loud crash? What loud crash? I saw you drive. You said you did this. I saw you do it. I never did that. Gaslighting. That's what these people are doing to us. I thought that the spending bills had to originate in the House of Representatives, not the Senate. What makes you think that? You know? That's what they're doing. So we'll get that firewall out next, gaslighting, on how the world is inverted and people are making us crazy. They're making us crazy. And I think they're designed to make us crazy. And I think this calling us racists and terrorists and murderers, I think is intentionally designed to gin us up, to just gin us up. Get us really riled. What's it going to, I think we heard this on Trifecta. I don't remember if Steve or Scott said, what's it going to take to get you Tea Party people to actually shoot up a place? Well, maybe more than you've got, Mr. President. Maybe it would take more than you got. We're people who have character, not like everybody else who's shot up all these places. They're all Democrats, and they're all progressives. Anyway, so more firewalls are coming. Kenny Dragone. The next new video will be a firewall. Bill Thompson says, what would I really like to see? I'd like to see you in a one-on-one with the talking heads of MSNBC, CNN, etc. Piers, Bashir, Tingles, Those guys, late night talkie, Sunday morning pundits, I want you to mop the floor with them in front of a national audience of brainwashed, low information Democrats. I want to see them start in with their snide condescension, get a thorough arse whooping, and cut to commercial stammering and speechless against a wall of impermeable logic, to which I'll add I'd like to see the wailing of their women and the burning of their villages and selling of their children into bondage. I'd like to see that too. I didn't want to do that for the longest time, I just didn't want to. I don't have a real good thick skin for this kind of thing, but it's getting thicker. And again, I think really, I think ultimately you get called because no one else is doing it. I mean, no one else is doing it. No one else knows how to do it. I'd like to do that. I think I will. And again, resources, right? Resources. The subscriber base gives us a chance to do it. So, let's see. Moving on. KCZ Lind, Kiz Lind. I want to see you on all the big news networks, same as last one. Thank you. I want to see you as the face of our literal, not virtual political future. Finally, I want to see you in Colorado. I think you'll see me in Colorado. Whether or not there's a real political future, we'll have to see. I don't know. I've got so much fun stuff I want to do, and I cannot imagine being a legislator. I'll tell you one thing. If I do go to Washington as a representative, I will run on one campaign promise and one campaign promise only. And that my campaign promise will be that my promise to you, my representatives of my congressional district, is that the only legislation that I will author will be legislation to destroy existing legislation. I am not going to put a new law on the books, not one. The legislation that I will pass will be legislation that gets old and useless and ridiculous legislation off the books. And my monument will be a giant commercial building where and a computer rendering of a statue of me that says, "This Bill Whittle federal building not built through the strenuous efforts of Congressman Bill Whittle." So that's the hope. Okay. So Joshua Tiemans again says, Bill, when BillWhittle.com becomes successful, you need to get Mr. Clavin on staff and get Clavin on the culture back in action. I think I got another one about that no good for nothing layabout. I have had a conversation with Andrew directly about this, and he'd love to do it. So again, it simply comes down to subscribers. It's just that simple. The actual simple truth of it is, if we have X number of subscribers, we can do this. If we have X plus 500, we can do that. If we have X plus 2,000, we can do that. There's just, the more money we bring in, the more stuff we can produce. This stuff costs money to produce, and it's not incredibly cheap to do. It's not like doing a column. Producing videos costs a lot of money, and especially with Andrew's stuff, with all his animated backgrounds, what makes his show so effective, that all costs money. Not a lot of money, actually. We work very, very, very efficiently, but it costs money. So we're going to look at the subscriber base. Lida is coming on for sure. Big Bat channel is coming on for sure. But as far as going beyond that, it's going to depend on how many people we have. So if you have any friends, be sure to let them know. Jack Albert says, for the subscription, will it be just pay for a year, or will there be a month-by-month possibility? I know that month-by-month would work well for most of us more of us college-age folks. Month-by-month is available, Jack, and also annual. We do not renew your subscription beyond a year. If you have a month-by-month subscription, starting at $9.95 a month, you swipe your card once, we auto-bill it 11 more times, and then you have to manually re-up it. That seems decent to me. Somebody said, do we prefer the monthly payment or the annual payment? I prefer what is most convenient for you guys. Sorry. I do. I prefer what works best for you. But I suppose an annual payment is slightly less processing fee, so I guess that's probably best for us. But I want people to do whatever they can, and if they can't do anything, believe me, I understand. So I've been watching this economy flatline for 5 years now. Believe me, I know it's tough out there. So we'll have both, and I suppose if I had a preference, I'd prefer the year, but, we just want to have you there. Brandon Eiler says, Bill Whittle on primetime TV interviews and talk radio interviews. In other words, what do we want to see more of? Pedro Felipe says, Bill, I would like to see some interviews. I'd love to do interviews. One of the things about this Man Cave show that's not up yet, but again, we can make happen pretty easily, is the idea of being able to talk to other people. And over time, this is not high on the list, but this is something I would like to do. I did one episode on PJTV called Soldier Story, where we interviewed a guy who's named Leon Cooper, who drove the Higgins boats on the first waves ashore at Tarawa and Iwo. And that was some of the best work I've ever done. So I'd love to do those kind of things. And frankly, Stratosphere Lounge's end goal is to be a TV talk show. Just a TV talk show, just like The Tonight Show. Yeah. By the way, Wild Goose in the comment section points out one of the commentators we need to have on the show is some kind of international film and television star. In other words, somebody like Nick Searcy, but hopefully not too much like them. Nick Searcy and I and Andrew Clavin and Zoe and a bunch of other people are going to sit around in a set, and we're going to have some drinks, and we're going to kick back, and we're going to talk the way we talk when we're having fun with each other. And you guys will be not only watching on video, I'm going to do that show live, and there'll be tickets, and you can come, and we'll have ourselves a fine little party, shoot it once a month, break it out into weekly segments. That's something I want to do very, very, very quickly. Very quickly. So second we have the means to do it, we'll do it. Ruth Olfson says, coffee mug with Stratosphere logo? Answer is yes. Not immediately. We have just to recap, we're going to launch a product line that looks like this, based on this iconography look. And then probably 2 to 3 weeks downstream, we're going to start bringing in some, this will be for bumper stickers and hats and, T-shirts, fleeces, mugs, and more as we get going. And then the second thing we'll bring out will be a line of merchandise that has this logo look and theme. And then after that, it will be, in fact, our very own favorite Stratosphere Lounge stuff. So, yes, Ruth, it's coming. And you can get a coffee mug that looks like this pretty much as soon as we open the doors. So we're excited about all this stuff. Almost done here. Will the Stratosphere Lounge ever have guests or guest hosts? I'm not sure about a guest host. I'd love to do guests. That's a technical issue. As I said, we may do webcam call-ins, but as I've said many times, I hope to take the show out in the world and just make it, a talk show, an interview show. Fun stuff. So we'll see. I certainly would like to, and I don't see why we can't. So thanks for that, Isaac. Michael Glanville says, I think you need to begin the full-fledged Stratosphere Lounge where you get to have guests like Zoe and Dwight Schultz and drink and smoke and talk politics. So whether we call it the Stratosphere Lounge or Cavemen in the Man Cave or whatever, we are going to do a show where we sit around and talk politics and drink heavily. I do love the name Stratosphere Lounge. Maybe we'll call that the Stratosphere Lounge, but I also want to keep some form of this. This is really fun and really nice for me to be able to talk to you guys kind of up close and personal like this. So we're going to get there. We are going to get to these numbers. I just don't know how fast, but we are going to get there. Had a couple people say get Adam Baldwin. Adam Baldwin's a friend of mine. He's a gigantic guy, 6'4", 6'5", and smart as a whip. He always plays these big, dumb gorillas, with bandoliers over his shoulders. He's one of the smartest men I ever met. So why don't we bring old, we'll make an invitation anyway, to see if Adam wants to go. Dwight Schultz for sure. Dwight's a friend and good friend, a great actor. And Dwight's going to be in Big Bad Problems, and Dwight's going to be in Aurora, just so you know. 2 to go. Mike, not gonna. Okay. Says, I just lost my job, so I can't make a financial contribution at this time. However, I still want to help. What can I do to help you? Mike, you can do things like write Facebook questions like that. Look, this is something that we want to do because I'm becoming very concerned about the state of the country, and I've basically begun to realize that maybe it is going to be dependent on stuff like the work that we can do. We're certainly underexposed. We're certainly capable of reaching more people than we reached. I'm not comfortable asking for people's money, to be honest with you. I'm not the kind of guy that's real comfortable with that. But I do feel that we're offering something of high quality in return. So if you can't afford to be a subscriber right now, Mike, don't worry about it. I just can't stress that enough. I told you I would kind of go a little on this towards the end, so let me deal with this very quickly. With the exception of a few behind-the-scenes kind of stuff, like the making of the virtual presidency or maybe some of that stuff, we'll keep that for members only because they deserve something for them. But the important stuff, the serious stuff, is going to be free. It's going to be free to everybody. It'll be on YouTube. We'll push it out on the website. We'll push it out on Facebook. You don't have to pay to watch. You're never going to have to enter a password or a number to watch this stuff. We're not going to do that. We want to help save the country. So we're going to make all this stuff available to everybody. And then, much as the same model of NPR, we will basically say we're putting this out for free, and we hope that some of you who have the means to do it will help step up and do it so that other people can watch it for free and that we can actually get out there and make a difference. In exchange for that, we'll give you some swag, which is nice, but certainly doesn't cost us more than we bring in. Those are tokens of our appreciation and a token for us to thank you for contributing. But I sure do wish you could split up your cable bill and just buy the shows you want. And because when you put out the number of content, the amount of content we have are going to be having, I think it's actually a pretty good bargain for that. So we hope people who can step up will, and we're going to keep promoting it until we get to a base where we can really start to go. And then we'll put more money into promotions. So that's the plan. But Mike, don't you worry about it. There were most of my life where I couldn't have afforded to do this for other people. So the main thing to do is just keep thinking about us and interacting with us. And to the degree that you can share those videos with friends on Facebook or through emails, anything like that really, really helps quite a lot. And then final question is from Mike Dudridge, who says, any jobs going in the new Whittle Media empire? Maybe. Depends on how much work we're actually doing. Right now, we have a good group of people, small team of 5 or 6 people who have been working like animals to get this thing up and running. And so we are going to be doing something, whether or not we can use people online or whether or not they have to be here. Interns, I don't believe in interns. I think it's possible to take intern type people, but you got to pay them something. You got to pay them something. I can't not do that. But there might be all kinds of opportunities for people. And all of our merchandise was handled by somebody who is watching Stratosphere Lounge, who I will promote very heavily once we get done. So I just want to close by saying this. It started about 2 months ago when we really started to get really grinding down on things like, we did that virtual presidency shoot about 2 months ago now. That was a $16,000 day. And it's worth every penny. It's 6 months worth of content. And I've been in show business for a long time, and I've been around show business people, and many times, if not most times in show business, you don't get paid for weeks, if not months, and sometimes you don't get paid at all. Sometimes the people just disappear. Sometimes they tell you, well, I just don't have the money, so tough luck for you. Sometimes you get paid half or a third or a quarter, and they say it's this or nothing, take it or leave it. It's not a real business. What I'm trying to say here is this. Starting when we started to really get this idea of doing the BillWhittle.com thing going, starting about 6 months ago, I started writing paychecks. That's the first time I've ever been able to write a paycheck to somebody else in my life. And I have to tell you, it was one of the most transformational experiences I ever had. I like writing paychecks for people more than anything I've ever done. We have good, solid, decent people, conservatives, small number of them, very talented. And when I get to write paychecks for stuff like this, which I'd been trying to get done forever, and paychecks for stuff like this, for the Big Bat movie. Stuff like this, you know. And not only write the paychecks, but write them to really good, decent people. I feel like the king of the world. And for those of you who've run small businesses out there, I know some small degree of how much work and stress you go through to meet payroll, but I'd be willing to bet you just about all of you out there feel the way I do about it. Namely, that it's the greatest feeling ever. It's really just the greatest feeling ever. Okay, so one of the reasons I was distracted there is because I did get that text from our web developer. And what he said was that we are not able to get billwhittle.com up under that domain name because they're still doing the DNS propagation on that. But there is a version of it. Let me see if... let me just see what we got here. I'm so sorry about this. Hey, look at that. Okay. I am going to go ahead and do this. So for those of you watching on Ustream, here's how we'll do it. Here's how we're going to do it. For those of you watching on Ustream right now, I am going to put it in the comments section on Ustream. And if you click on this link, you can go to billwhittle.com right now. And then on YouTube, I'll put it up as a lower third or as a clickable banner. Although, frankly, by the time it gets to YouTube, it'll be open, which will be Saturday. So I don't even know if I'll do that. I told the Stratosphere Lounge people you could come on in here and poke around and have some fun and see the site, and I mean to live up to that. So I was just going to tell you, hey, guess what? billwhittle.com is open. Go over there, but I'm going to have to send you a link. And I didn't get a chance to finish. I'm sorry, because this stuff's kind of happening in real time. I didn't get a chance to finish. Let me just rapidly finish the story about what we're doing with the pay. And so many people in this business don't get paid, never get paid anything. We write paychecks, and when we did the virtual presidency shoot, we had about 15 people on set. And I said, as far as I'm concerned, it's my policy from this point forward as running this company, that as long as we've got their invoice, if they come with their invoice in their hands and they have got we'll have W-9s for them or whatever it is that they need to sign, somebody else is taking care of that for me, then they go home with a paycheck. We give it to them at the end of the day. Here's your invoice, thank you. Here's your check, thank you. And that has a profound effect on people. We would rent studios, and they would say, are you coming on Saturday? I said, yeah, we'll be there. And they say, well, we just really worried. We want to make sure you're going to be there. We have so many people cancel. And I said, do they want half down? They said, no, they don't want half down. We'll take them half down. Just run half of it over there. Don't let them, they shouldn't have to worry about this. Just do it. So it'd be nice to do things right, the correct way, the ethical way. So that's how we're going to run this business. And to the degree that you can help us, we would really appreciate it. So here we go. I'm going to put the link in here in the in the YouTube social stream. I think everybody should be able to see that. Should show up. Let me make sure it did it. Nope, I didn't copy the right one. Sorry, hang on a second. Let me go back at this again. So this is the working site. This is where we are doing the. It's kind of an offline site. So while billwhittle.com still has the sign-up page, this is where the stuff is going. My web guy asked me to stress again that this is beta, that this is not finished. The subscription stuff I think will probably work if you're interested, but a couple of the channels aren't up yet. But I wanted to give it to you today because you guys have been so instrumental in everything we do and such a big part of this that I really feel... number one, that you understand that this is not finished product yet, but I also feel like you deserve a chance to go back behind the curtain and have a look at things backstage. You get the backstage pass because the people that are here watching the show they're just the hardcore of the hardcore. So let's see if I can get this in there. Here it comes. So, there it is. And I'll give it to you. I'll just read it to you for those of you who may be there. And unfortunately, I got to give you the whole thing because it's not a www thing. BillWhittle.com will be open on Saturday morning. But until then, if you want to take a look at the backstage scene, it's http:// and the word live, live-bill-whittle. So it's live-bill-whittle dot got Pantheon, GOTPANTHEON.com. So http:// live-bill-whittle dot gotpantheon.com. So, with a full understanding that this is not fully loaded, the virtual presidency piece isn't up, the introductory video isn't up, but a lot of stuff is up. And certainly you'll get a look at it. I think it's the cleanest, brightest, one of the best graphic designs I've on the site. I love it. I love it. I love it. Our guy Brian is terrific. Once the dust settles, I'm going to post a link to his work. There's just not a better web developer out there. And I am very, very, very happy with how it looks. I've seen the websites of people who I admire very much, like Rush Limbaugh and Glenn Beck, and Beck has the Blaze, but like Limbaugh and Ann Coulter and Sean Hannity. Very busy, very, just lots and lots and lots and lots of little things. But this, I think, is really very cool and very clean. Hey, there it is. And let me see. It looks like we got most everything going. We're missing a couple channels. We're missing a bunch of channels. Obviously, we don't have the about page is up there under the top bar. We don't have speaking up yet. We don't have commentary up yet. I have to get him the final copy for that. Don't have the Aurora up yet. But just as a way to look around and see, it's largely there, and hopefully the membership stuff will work. If you notice down at the bottom, if you do go to the web page, he's done so much. It is so clean looking. It's so strikingly great looking. But down at the bottom, we've got all my tweets go out. We've got all my Facebook stuff. You can like it on Facebook there. And then I put a bunch of pictures on Instagram. Rather than loading up to the website, I put them on Instagram. And now I can be at an airport and snap a picture. And it goes up to Instagram and it shows up on the website. So all the feeds are there. All of the social networking tools are there. And again, you're looking at about 2/3 of the total channel output. But if you want to go to the About page, you can learn something about me there. And otherwise, I think it's pretty good. So it's probably as good a time as any to call it a night, I guess. Enjoy the site, poke around a little bit. Hopefully you have a good time watching it and enjoy it. And I'm just as happy as I can be and as thrilled as I can be. So if you want to wait till Saturday and think about subscribing them, we'd love to have you. If you feel confident about it now, we'd love to have you now too. It's, as I said, it's that aspect of it should be working, and if it's not working, we want to know now. So I think we're good with the credit cards and all that other stuff for those of you who have the means and the inclination. And if you want to wait till the full thing is open, it'll be about 48 hours from now. So I guess that's it for this episode of the Stratosphere Lounge. I think it's 41. My God, I just cannot. Is it 40 or 41? Other people are going to know this better than I do. 42. It's episode 42. Holy cow. Anyway, I'm very excited. I'm all dressed up. And just finished a What You Get video, which will be out there on Saturday morning. Kind of a description of what we're doing and what we want to do. So until then, sports fans, I think that'll be it. I always try to close this way, and I don't know if I've ever felt it any more strongly than this. I've never been this excited in my life. I feel like I'm 18 years old. Or 20 and 21. I feel like I just got out of college, and you know, that the world is my oyster. And that we've got a lot of great and important work to do, and that we will be able to do it. So I will repost the link here in the comment section. And again, if we don't get to it tonight, it'll be there in the near future. But until then, thank you so much for the opportunities you guys have given me over the years, and thank you so much for everything. If you have a problem with anything, just leave it in the Facebook comment section on this link, and we'll start playing around with it. So thanks for everything. Great to see you. Hope you enjoy the new graphics. Hope you enjoy the website. And if you think we've done good work in the past, then you ain't seen nothing yet, my friends. You all be careful out there. Have a great night. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.